I didn't want to die without leaving something behind. The words of Rose Banuelos, the creator and founder of a non-profit organization called Music for Purpose. An incredible leap of faith and hope for children and people that has intrigued and inspired any who have heard about its plans and causes. I quickly realized while we were speaking that it wasn't just about leaving a legacy, but about leaving something good behind to care for the less fortunate, something that would add the resource of inspiration to those who otherwise experience a withering side of life. She inspires to build a gift for children, both of local communities in the United States and for orphans in Honduras. What isn't there to appreciate about an operation such as this? Rose Banuelos and those who support her have organized a way to give free music lessons in the U.S., those of which the notes and sounds of music now continue on to orphans in Honduras who are collecting together and assembling for the same turn of events. It is a collaboration of caring adults inspiring and opening the hearts of children to receive free and give freely from one corner of the earth to another with the gift of music. Rose was asked how it all started.
Music for Purpose was created shortly after a friend of mine passed away. He and I suffered from the same illness, epilepsy. My epilepsy was worse, which was called juvenile epilepsy, but he had died. I had battled with epilepsy for 7 years, and in June of 2000, the Lord healed me. After his passing, my conclusion was to make use of a gift I had then become more aware of: life.
In March of 2011, Music for Purpose was created, offering free music classes to children within local communities who aren't commonly able to afford lessons. This would be promoted with an option to donate towards an organized goal. 100% of all donations would go to supply music lessons and instruments for San Pedro Sula, an orphanage in Honduras. A plan of gift giving begins and people begin to work in sync to create proceeds purely from the heart. It didn't take long for others around Rose to feel and understand the love of this vision and realize its gift. It was not only inspirational, but it gave adults and children within local communities an opportunity to work together for a good cause, providing an ability to exercise within the cause and outsource its wonderful purpose through music. Everybody gains, learning drive, artistic creation, and experiencing an introduction of selflessness and inspiration, invigoration that would echo across waters. Rose describes her travel and recalls the heat that arrested her and the 2 volunteers traveling with her. I asked about their stay with the family in Honduras.
We had no intention of staying in their home without providing for our own meals and other such needs. We knew of some struggles of the people in Honduras. I gave the lady $200 to get us food during our stay. The first thing I did later that day was to go to the fridge to look for a fresh cold glass of milk, and I found nothing. I tried not to panic, but I just waited to see what would be done for our first meal. When I got to the table, I found a smoking bowl of hot soup.
Rose admitted to a little frustration, but after conversing with the woman, she found that meals were customarily purchased from day to day, and that soup was a meal that would go a long way. It was actually very good, she said. The woman continued to explain that it was not wise to purchase a lot of food because it had a potential to invite thieves into the home. A lot of food would give the perception that they were rich people, and that, in their area, was dangerous. As Rose continued in Honduras over the next few days, she would learn a lot more of the dangers in Honduras. She and her volunteers were given a crash course on behavior for their safety. They discussed thoroughly what was safe to do and what was very unsafe to do. One of the volunteers was even asked to change the color of her hair. It suggested to me that the style and color of her hair likely gave the same dangerous perception of being rich. In detail, they discussed the modification of simple behaviors and appearance, and then considered more threats, fatal ones. Rose and the volunteers learned that the river near the home in which they were staying had a menacing complication. There was a minimum of 20 bodies being dumped there a day. Drug trafficking is reported as the #1 source of killings in the area. The greater realities of the impoverished area would obviously pose a real challenge and threat to her vision of instituting music for the children there. The equipment and instruments alone could be alluring to those who would do just about anything to make their ends meet. And as she walked by and through the women who were out cooking on logs, the cattle and sheep roaming around as free as the people and the children watching, she decided she would not let The tragedies of Honduras keep her from the goals she and many others back home were now pulling for and working hard together to complete. We talked about the children of Honduras. The girls start working at age 9 and the boys start at age 11. After a short discussion of why girls start working before the boys, we both came back to the ultimate reality of her words. Children were working, and at an age when our parents were barely letting us out to play unattended. A Honduran child is employed full-time at an age when we here in the States still desire the security of a night light plugged into the bedroom wall, and find comfort in stuffed animals and cartoon-characterized comforters. Pre-packed lunches and school bells are nearly about the only challenges we have to prepare for the next day. Despite such sadness, I asked Rose about her most memorable moment in Honduras.
A mother came searching for me at the place where we had held our music workshop. The first thing she said was, "What have you done with my kid?" I guess I'm so used to these words being considered as an accusation back in the States that I immediately asked her what I had done wrong. She then told me that it's been a challenge to get her child to sit down and learn. In school, the boy wouldn't even sit still. She then reported that her son came home playing the guitar and singing tunes, and most of all that he had remembered them. She wanted to know what I did to get him to sit down and learn. I simply smiled big and I said, "That's the power of music."
After a good laugh and the rest of her intriguing stories about her experiences with the children and parents of Honduras, we spoke about her accomplishments. And she was excited to relay that 80 children were able to attend the music workshop. All children were able to receive an hour of guitar, vocal, rhythm, and flute lessons. They also received a meal and their parents.
At first I was nervous when I saw the parents coming in to be fed. I looked over nervously to a volunteer who helped us organize the feeding. She told me to relax and assured me that everything would be okay. She said she knew the parents would come. They were hungry people, and so she planned ahead for the children and the parents. I was so thankful to have had the help of our Honduran volunteers. It would have been a mess, but like she said, they knew the people.
It was exciting to hear about her trip to Honduras, and it was even more exciting to hear about their plans to return and scout out an orphanage to establish the music program permanently. They are currently seeking to work with the Honduras government, considering land donation in the area. She reports that it is a great possibility. She looks forward to her return, eager to work with the people who she says were all such willing volunteers. They are so grateful to be at work in something, as the employment and means of providing for oneself is very scarce.
People just want to be part of something,
she said. Since Rose's return, she has accomplished benefit recordings for Music for Purpose. The first was held September 2nd of 2013, and another was done August 2014. All proceeds will go towards the goals of Honduras. Music for Purpose as an organization has since been growing, hiring more teachers and providing more classes. Rose and the organization are constantly on the move. As of September 2014, they are currently planning to visit each state via bus to promote this vision by selling CDs, DVDs, and all means circulating to support the cause. Music for Purpose is currently seeking monthly sponsorships to help establish this vision in Honduras. All donations are 100% tax deductible. As mentioned in James chapter 1, verse 27, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. With your donation, you are helping these orphans. If you are not able to do so at this time, you can still support this cause by liking our Facebook page, Music for Purpose, one word. We will post monthly video progress reports so you may see the orphans receive the gift of music and grow musically. While our volunteer is establishing this music program inside the orphanage, she is seeking students to be able to teach via Skype, FaceTime, or Facebook. This will help her personal finances. If you are interested, please inquire after the service.